Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Let's Talk, the series where we pull out your spine, freeze it, and throw it back at you so your entire body explodes. This is your friendly neighborhood Birdman, and today I'm going to give you a review on Mortal Kombat, the one from 2021. So Mortal Kombat is the latest film based on the popular fighting game franchise and serves as a reboot to the film series. It tells the story of Cole Young, an MMA fighter that has seemingly lost his edge. Cole is the descendant of Hanzo Hasashi, a legendary ninja whose entire family was murdered by the Lin Kuei assassin Bi-Han in 17th century Japan. Due to this lineage, Cole is wrapped up in an ancient prophecy that suggests the people of Earth will take part in a tournament where they will literally fight for their freedom from another realm. Cole is then recruited by a band of other chosen fighters, and now we got a movie. Now, as a huge fan of the video games, I have to say the plot of this film threw me for a loop. The games have changed the canon so many times that this shouldn't really be a problem, but for me it was a little strange. For example, Cole Young is an original creation for this movie. For those unfamiliar with the games and the lore, this might not even be an issue, but for me, I couldn't get over the fact that the story of one of the most lauded video game franchises of all time rests on an original creation. This is Alice from Resident Evil all over again. Which is weird because Mortal Kombat is a franchise with over 60 characters. You absolutely didn't need to create a whole new one for this movie. Frankly, Cole could have been Takeda and the story wouldn't have missed a single beat. Another unnecessary thing the movie creates is the concept of arcana, or a latent ability of those that bear the dragon mark. For example, this mark allows Liu Kang to control and manipulate fire, or allows Bi-Han to manipulate ice. In the games, this doesn't exist. Sub-Zero and his family are a race of cryomancers. He is born with the ability to manipulate ice. He doesn't need some silly arcana bullshit to do it. This wouldn't be so much of a problem for me if the plot didn't literally hinge on this concept, but unfortunately it does. The movie spends an absurd amount of time with this concept to the point where main characters like Sonya Blade feel handicapped by it. Even worse, Arcana ruins Prince Goro. The movie literally makes fucking Goro expendable so that a character can manifest their arcana. I can't even begin to tell you how annoyed that made me. Another thing I was disappointed with were the fight sequences. There were times where the fights were brutal and decently choreographed, and then there were other times where things got floaty, weightless, and jump cutty. For this movie to be based on a fighting game franchise where shit like this happens, this is entirely unacceptable. The raid. The movie Mortal Kombat wishes it were. But anyway, the beginning of this film starts out on an extremely high note as Hanzo fights off the Lin Kuei assassins, and the fight sequence here is absolutely top tier. I mean, you've got Joe Taslim from the fucking raid, okay? Any fight scene with any of the Indonesian actors from the raid is going to be the pinnacle of that movie's fight sequences. So my disappointment comes from the fact that the rest of the movie doesn't give you this same sense of satisfaction with regard to the fight scenes. Now, I've listed most of my gripes with this movie, so it probably sounds like I didn't like it very much. But there were things I thought this movie did extremely well. Firstly, the movie nails the look of the characters from the game. Characters like Jax and Kung Lao are the spitting image of their video game counterparts. Sub-Zero's costume design is phenomenal, and it really makes me feel like the costume designers actually cared about representing characters that have source material, unlike Fox and their ridiculous unwillingness to put Wolverine in fucking yellow. But I digress. The movie looks and feels like a living, breathing Mortal Kombat game, and as a huge fan of this franchise, thank you. I am so tired of companies looking to cash in on popular franchises and then just throwing the source material to the wayside. And although this movie does take some liberties, I am willing to forgive these deviations because they get the essence of the characters. Resident Evil, for example, got the look of Jill Valentine correct, but at the same time, they made her take a back seat in a franchise where she is the main character. This movie somewhat does this with Cole Young, but the other characters all get their opportunity to shine, and the movie doesn't simply rely on Cole being a Mary Sue in the same way Resident Evil does with Alice.
Who the fuck are you?
And Cole is a Mary Sue, by the way, but the movie doesn't require him to be one. He's ultimately just a part of the team. Speaking of characters, Kano absolutely steals the show. He is the best part of every scene he's in, from his introduction to his fight scenes. If there is one character this movie gets absolutely correct, it's the leader of the Black Dragon clan. What I love the most about him is the Australian humor. I love Aussie humor, and if you're unfamiliar with it, this is a great primer for how Aussies do humor.
I'm a popular guy. Everyone loves me.
There are tongue-in-cheek references to the video games that those of us who are fans will appreciate. For example, there are fatalities, brutalities, and one of the characters even says flawless victory. It's little things like that that show you the filmmakers are fans themselves, and I'd much rather fans of the source material be the ones to make movies like these than corporate suits only looking to make money on a popular name brand. Overall, I enjoyed my time with this movie. There are plenty of issues here, from the underutilization of characters like Raiden to the weird over-reliance on made-up and unnecessary concepts like Arcana. But I feel the good this movie does balances out the problems I personally have with this movie. This movie will be contentious, I feel. Fans of the franchise will rate it lower for the liberties it takes in making Cole Young a thing, and non-fans will enjoy this for the humor, decently stylish fight scenes, and seamless cultural blend. The plot itself is somewhat forgettable, but that doesn't bother me too much because Mortal Kombat's plot is always forgettable. We came for the fights, Sub-Zero vs. Scorpion, and fatalities, and the movie delivered those things. And as this movie is very clearly setting up a sequel, it does just enough to get me excited to see where this goes. Just work on them fight scenes, my dude. C+. Sure, this movie wasn't a flawless victory, but I think it did the franchise justice, where movies like the Street Fighter movie didn't give a damn about the source material. That being said, if you've seen this movie, please let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. And let me know where this movie ranks in your Mortal Kombat movie ranking. There are at least 5 now. In any case, this has been your friendly neighborhood Birdman, and I'll catch you in the next one.